Story Sirens, the podcast where we deep dive into your favorite myths and legends. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Yenny, and welcome to week 2 of our mythological movie series. Summer is in full swing, y'all, and we're popping corn, drinking those ice-cold margaritas, and discussing some of our favorite fantastical films. And today, we're looking at a cult classic. I say that because I watched it for the first time last night, but because I love Sarah, I watched it, and I also watched it for this episode. And speaking of my lovely bestie, she looks like she's about to combust. So, Sarah, what is it that we are discussing today?
Today, we are covering the 1982 film, The Last Unicorn, based off of the 1968 book by Peter S. Beagle. And naturally, we will also be covering unicorns in mythology.
Sarah, you've been dying to cover this topic, and I will tell everybody.
I'm filled with the joy of unicorns today. So I used to rent The Last Unicorn from our local video store so frequently that my mom just finally got sick of renting it and just went up to the clerk and was like, "How much for the VHS? Just let me take it home."
I mean, listen, Blockbuster gang, what is up? I was a Blockbuster fanatic. I would keep all the I wouldn't go for the movies though. I would go for the games. So I'd be there with the GameCube games just sifting through going which one I'm going to get, because my GameCube was the purple Lugia GameCube for the Pokemon Battle Coliseum. Oh my God, and the dark Lugia. Oh God, it was gorgeous. And then I gave it away because I'm a nut job. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking back in the day. Anyways, back to unicorns.
Well, and specifically The Last Unicorn. Maybe should I discuss how I associate unicorns with 70s soft rock?
Is it necessary?
Okay, maybe not. But there's an unexpected connection between last week's dinosaur episode and today's unicorn episode.
What? No.
You're going to love it. So let's wander into the lilac wood.
Nice.
Long ago, there were legends of fearsome, aggressive creatures. They lived in the grassy pastures of India and the sand-covered hills of Iran. A solitary and territorial creature, it was a beast that struck fear into the hearts of even the bravest game hunters. Massive in size, covered in both dark, tough scales and shaggy black fur, with split yellow hooves, a short tail, and eyes that lie lower than any other creature in the animal world. And upon its nose was a massive horn that curved upwards. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Carcharodon, the scourge of Persian myths, the unicorn of Muslim legends. And while it may have had a deep hatred for humans, it had an even deeper hatred for elephants.
Why?
I looked. I haven't found it. Folks in the comments, if you know why the Carcharodon hated elephants, tell us.
We would love to know.
Legend speaks. We really would. Because legend speaks of a Carcharodon that once pursued an elephant, burying its horn in the elephant's side. The two wounded beasts struggled against each other, as the Carcharodon was unable to withdraw its horn from the side of the elephant, when a great bird, perhaps a roc, like in Sinbad.
Ooh, the memories.
The memories. Came swooping down and grabbed both beasts in its claws and swept them away into its nest to feast upon. Now, some of you may be thinking that the physical description of the Carcharodon sounds an awful lot like a rhinoceros.
Ooh.
And you would be right. There is a great deal of speculation, even full-throttled belief, that the Carcharodon was actually the Indian rhinoceros. To further confuse you, the Persian word for rhinoceros and unicorn is the same word, Carcharodon.
Oh.
Now, perhaps this Persian ponderance over magical unicorns and real-life rhinoceroses stems from the elasmotherium, aka what scientists often refer to as the real-life unicorn. This massive, mammoth-like rhinoceros sported a thick, hairy coat, a massive conical horn on its forehead, and long legs that helped it run more like a horse than contemporary rhinos.
Sarah, are you saying that the fossils of an ancient animal were confused with the bones of a legendary beast?
I am simply saying that the Carcharodon was not the only fearsome horned beast.
Oh my gosh. Do you think the Elasmotherium will ever show up in the Jurassic Park-like world? Because
I seriously hope so. I want a dinosaur unicorn.
I mean, it's not impossible. It's not impossible, as we talked about last episode. There is a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of cool weirdness.
Yeah. Science.
I love it. So see, I told you, they're connected.
Yes, you are.
They're connected.
Yes, you are.
So anyway, the Muslim scholar Al-Kaziwi wrote of a beautiful but strange creature known as the Shadavar. Supposedly, this creature could be found all across Europe. Various authors reported that the Shadavar had the body of a gazelle and a single horn in the middle of its forehead. This horn was hollow and had 42 to 72 short branches sprouting from it.
That is a very, specific amount. Just 42 to 72, somewhere along those lines. What?
Well, they're both holy numbers in Islam.
Back to the holy numbers. Every number, numerology, everything has something to do with it. There's always an explanation. The woogity-woogities of the numbers.
The woogity-woogities. All right, so anyway, when the wind would blow through these 42 to 72 branches, beautiful music would be produced by the Shadavar's horn. This music was entrancing to both man and beasts, and animals and humans would gather around the Shadavar as the music played. Lovely, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wrong! Later writing stated that the Shadavar was a carnivorous animal and would use its musical horn to lure in and sedate its unsuspecting prey.
So in other words, unicorns are trying to kill us?
I mean, these past unicorns I've mentioned, yes, but not all of them. Let's meet one. So China, and due to the creature's popularity, Japan, Korea, and Vietnam, has its own unicorn mythology. However, sometimes their unicorn has one horn, and sometimes it has two horns.
So it's like a bicorn? Duocorn? That sounds like a Pokemon.
That totally sounds like a Pokemon. But it's still magical. The Keelin, also sometimes known as the Lin, unlike its Persian cousin the Carcharodon, was known for its gentle and benevolent nature. One of the 4 auspicious beasts of China, the other 3 being the dragon, the phoenix, and the tortoise, the Keelin was believed to bring prosperity and good fortune to whoever was lucky enough to look upon it. Sightings of Keelins were also believed to be an indicator of the land being governed by a virtuous ruler. Some histories believe legends of the Keelin stem from poetry and prose written about a long-extinct deer-like creature. But where's the fun in that?
Keelins are definitely their own magical species. And honestly, we will be covering the 4 auspicious beasts of China throughout this season.
100%.
Hopefully next season too. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
And now that we have been introduced to the regal and righteous Keelin, let's delve into how the unicorn went from being a creature of terror and hostility to a creature of purity and grace in Western culture. Unicorns have appeared in the writings of the Greeks and Romans, some believing that they were a subspecies of horse, donkey, or oxen, and others believing that they were their own separate species. The 5th century BC Greek physician and historian Ctesias described them as mammoth-sized donkeys with white bodies, red heads, blue eyes, and a single horn on their head that was white, black, and red. They were also reportedly very fast creatures and were often hunted.
Oh no, Sarah. Unicorns can't possibly taste good.
I mean, reports don't say. What they do claim is that the unicorns were hunted for their horn specifically.
Actually,
Real
quick, I did not know there are people who eat horse.
Yes.
Is it
It's very popular in Italy.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I tried it.
Ah! You have a horse.
I do. It made me very sad.
Did it taste good?
Yes.
I'm holding on to my...
Yeah, no, I've tried it once. I was like, all right, I did it. I'm good. I don't need to do this again.
I don't think I'd ever be able to. But then again, I want to pet chicken, and I eat chicken all the time. So I feel like, yeah. Anyways, back to unicorns.
Anyways, what they do claim is that unicorns were hunted for their horn specifically. According to legend, a unicorn's horn could detect poison, or if ingested, could grant immunity to all poisons. But their mythicality did not stop there. When the Titan Kronos swallowed all of his children in Greek mythology, his wife Rhea hid their youngest son, Zeus, in order to save his life. Zeus was raised on a secret island by his grandmother Gaia, her attendant nymphs Adrastea and Ida. A goat was also there by the name Amalthea, and from her horns flowed ambrosia and nectar, the food of the gods. As a child, Zeus accidentally broke one of Amalthea's horns, thus making her the first unicorn. Her broken horn became the cornucopia, which produces an endless amount of food and drink, a prize amongst the gods. Now, there is some speculation that Amalthea was not the goat who fed Zeus, but instead the nymph who owned the goat and nursed the infant Zeus.
Again, not a unicorn.
I'm going to make you eat those words.
I'm waiting.
After her death, Zeus placed Amalthea's body amongst the stars, creating her constellation. A goat. Or a unicorn, depending on how you view it.
Right. We also talk about Amalthea in our Magical Fruits episode, which you can check out. It's in season 1. So, yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I like it.
I highly recommend season 1.
Yes.
It's so good.
We highly recommend our
recommend
podcast.
Season 2. Now, around the 4th century AD, the anonymously written book Physiologus was published. Written for a Greek Christian audience, the book was an early example of a bestiary, or a collection of legends and descriptions of both real and mythical animals. Under the description for the unicorn, the author stated that the unicorn had a beard, the cloven hooves of a goat, and could only be tamed by a maiden.
Okay, this is sounding more familiar.
Exactly, this is starting to fit what we picture as a unicorn. Now, fast forward to the Middle Ages, 500 AD to 1500 AD. The Physiologus was still popular reading material. During this time, early printings and various translations of the Bible used the word unicorn 9 to 10 times. In Scripture, the animal was often referred to in an exalted position, or the creature was uplifting something, and it caused quite a stir, eventually leading to theologians and common speculators to believe that the unicorn was a symbolic animal representing the Christ, or was a companion animal of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden.
That's so cool.
Right? There was a resurgence in the belief that a unicorn could spot poison, but as with all good and noble things, mankind had to mess it up.
Per usual, I am not in the slightest bit surprised.
So during the Middle Ages, an entire unicorn market came into existence. At this point in history, it was believed that a unicorn's horn could detect poison, the liver could cure leprosy, and the hide could protect a person from the plague when worn. There was also some speculation that, the hoof of a unicorn, if placed under a dining table, could, prevent indigestion, which I'm like, of all things!
I need it.
Eat some mint.
Give me that for my IBS.
Eat some mint. So this naturally led to unicorn hunting, which inspired a very famous tapestry series, The Hunt for the Unicorn, that many of you are most likely familiar with from books, movies, and other media. These unicorn hunts featured riders with swords and spears, barking dogs, and a noble maiden who supposedly could lure the unicorn into a trap. At the end of the hunt, the captured unicorn would either be killed or made a pet and prize in the king's court.
Who actually caught a unicorn, though? Maybe they caught a rhino. There is no bones of a unicorn, y'all. It's not...
It could be real, just very extinct at this point, and all of the horns were, distributed and ground into anti-poison powders. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And of course, these hunts continue to aid the unicorn market. Physicians, apothecaries, and snake oil salesmen all claim to have access to unicorn parts. These unicorn parts were often nothing more than pieces of bones, hide, and meat from common animals.
Because they're not real.
I don't know. They could be real.
Okay.
The most exotic pieces these scammers sold were narwhal horns, which are actually teeth.
No, not the sea unicorns.
I know, right?
Those are the sea unicorns.
Right?
I will say, narwhals are sea unicorns.
They are sea unicorns. And there was also a common belief back during the Middle Ages that every land animal had a sea counterpart.
Ooh.
Yeah, for real. This was an actual belief system. So the fact that there were narwhals continued the craze of people believing if there are narwhals in the sea, that's a sea unicorn. Therefore, there must be a land unicorn. It was this whole, there has to be this equal amount of creatures on both sides. So, as our listeners have observed, we have over 5,000 years of unicorn legends to think about. So where did all the unicorns go?
If they went anywhere.
If they went anywhere. As mentioned earlier, Peter S. Beagle wrote of the missing unicorns in his 1968 novel, The Last Unicorn, which in turn became a 1982 animated film starring Mia Farrow, Alan Arkin, Tammy Grime, Jeff Bridges, Christopher Lee, and Angela Lansbury, with music written by Jimmy Webb and performed by, of all bands, the folk rock group America, which is why I associate unicorns with 70s soft rock.
I mean, honestly, though, like, the first song in both, in like the ending and the beginning, afterwards, I was like, okay, this is a jam. Some of those other songs, they were a choice.
I gotcha.
They were a choice.
No, I totally get you there.
A choice.
I totally get you. Now, this story is just as strange, dark, and magical as the history of the beast itself. So, let's dive in. You looked a little suspicious there, Yenny.
I am suspicious because the whole movie is suspicious. The whole movie. I saw the movie, guys, for homework. That was my homework, and because I love my best friend, I watched the movie. It is very good in some parts, and then other parts, which...
But it's very strange.
I will interject when Sarah talks about the strange parts, because she does bring them up. There's one thing that you don't bring up, and I will talk about it.
Okay. And I fully admit, like, I grew up watching this film as a little kid. I've got some nostalgia goggles on. But I do also understand that, like, it can be enjoyed as a first-timer if you're an adult. But I definitely enjoy it more on my, like, millionth rewatch as an adult because I'm like, oh, well, now I understand it even more. But, like, I totally get it. Like, you didn't grow up with it, but I appreciate you watching it for this episode.
It's definitely Sarah-coded.
For this episode.
Completely Sarah-coded.
Really
even
is.
How
really
the
is.
Last unicorn talks, Sarah talks like that. Like, that's how crazy.
I do? I love it.
The first moment she spoke, I go, Sarah. I went, hello?
I love it. I love that so much.
All right.
All right. So in the movie, we meet a beautiful white unicorn who is made aware by hunters passing through her woods that she may, in fact, be the only unicorn left in the world. This idea is preposterous to her.
There has never been a time without unicorns,
she says to herself.
We are as old as the sky, old as the moon. We may be hunted, trapped. We may even be killed if we leave our forests, but we do not vanish.
But her confidence in this assurance of where the unicorns are wavers over time, and she begins to wonder if she truly is the last. After a chance meeting with a strange little butterfly...
Was it actually chance, fate, or did they just want to put like a really weird music poetry choice that made absolutely no sense whatsoever? Even the unicorn's like, butterflies make no sense. Because,
right.
Wow.
I think this is one of those choices where they were like, you know what, this is a kid's movie. Let's put like something fun and whimsical in there. I'm like, the story's about a unicorn. It's whimsical enough. This frickin' butterfly. This frickin' butterfly.
Odd little creature.
But it is thanks to the butterfly that the unicorn is made aware of two figures who may be responsible for the disappearance of all unicorns, King Haggard and the Red Bull. But, filled with more questions than answers, the unicorn leaves her woods in search of the other unicorns of the world. Along her journey, the unicorn is frequently mistaken by mortal eyes for a white mare. This enrages her. Unicorns are vain creatures, after all. But it also grants her some relief. She thinks to herself,
I have forgotten that men cannot see unicorns. If men no longer know what they're looking at, there may well be other unicorns in the world yet unknown, and glad of it.
Shortly after this revelation, the unicorn is captured in her sleep by the witch and owner of the Midnight Carnival, Mommy Fortuna, one of the few beings who recognizes what the unicorn is. It is here that the unicorn meets Schmendrick the magician, a man cursed with immortality until he finally becomes a true magician. This small detail is left out of the film, but I believe it adds to the melancholy of the story.
I would also like to add that he is also cursed with that name because Schmendrick, they had so many choices, and they gave him the biggest nose out there. I was like, what is going on here? But don't worry, guys. Schmendricks, he got it. He got that thing.
All right.
I won't say anything else.
Okay, this is an interesting turn of events. Okay,
I'll tell you after.
The unicorn is placed in a cage with a spell over her to allow common people to see her as a unicorn. Smendrick is the second person to recognize that she is a real unicorn, and he commits himself to freeing her. As the two speak to one another, the unicorn sees that Mommy Fortuna's carnival is full of fakes. The manticore is actually an elderly lion. The satyr is a crippled chimp. The mid-god serpent is a common snake, which I'd like to say this kind of pulls into the parallel of, like, we had snake oil salesmen saying, oh, I can sell you unicorn parts in history. And so now we're bringing in that it's all a scam. Yeah. The unicorn is truly disgusted by these illusions. But she is even more horrified when she discovers that there is one other real magical being in the carnival, a harpy named Seleno. The unicorn argues with Mommy Fortuna for her freedom, as well as the harpies, warning the old witch that her death sits in Seleno's cage. This doesn't worry the witch. She knows the harpy will kill her someday, but she also knows the harpy will never forget being captured, and that is how Mommy Fortuna will achieve her immortality.
Very evil.
Twisted little old woman. Schmendrick is eventually able to free the unicorn, who in turn frees every other animal from their cages, including Seleno. The harpy turns on the unicorn immediately, then turns her rage towards Mommy Fortuna and her assistant. As the harpy kills the pair, the unicorn tells Schmendrick to come with her, but warns,
don't run. You must never run from anything immortal. It attracts their attention. And she says that super, just walk.
Just so chill.
Just
so
walk.
Blasé. That is the thing. She is so blasé the entire time, which I think is intentional just to show the fact that, she doesn't really relate to humans. She's just telling them information. She's like, this is what you do. I mean, come on, what's the big deal? And, of course, Schmendrick's over here I'm about to be eaten. So the pair escape, and Seleno flies away. Schmendrick grieves the violent death of Mommy Fortuna and asks the unicorn where she will now go. She tells him she's looking for the other unicorns and asks if he knows of King Haggard and the Red Bull. Schmendrick says he does and will travel with her for good luck, for laughs. The unicorn laments this outcome, saying that she wishes that he would ask for another reward for freeing her. Schmendrick admits that he thought of asking her to turn him into a true magician, but decided that probably would not be in her power. During this scene, the two have a conversation regarding emotions in humans versus unicorns. The unicorn admits that she can feel sorrow, but that's not the same as regret. Unicorns cannot feel regret.
Why does that make me sad, though? I don't know how I feel about that.
I know. It's kind of one of those glimpses. Again, like I mentioned earlier, is they're showing how the unicorn does process the world so differently from humans. But it is sad when you realize there are a lot of limitations to unicorns. Yeah. They might be immortal, but they don't have this true depth of feeling.
Right.
Continuing their travels, Schmendrick is abducted by a band of robbers who serve the somewhat notorious Captain Cully, a man obsessed with his own legend. At Captain Cully's camp, Schmendrick meets Cully's wife, Molly Grew. Molly Grew is a middle-aged woman full of bitterness and anger. Life has not gone how she anticipated, and she has not forgiven the world for stealing her dreams. After a very odd sequence of events, which include summoning apparitions of Robin Hood and his men, causing Cully's men and wife to run off, to being tied up to a tree and subsequently bringing the tree to life.
Which that on its own.
Schmendrick, that's a weird scene. It's weird. Again, it's another one of those like, oh, it's a kid movie. Let's put something weird in there.
Yeah.
Schmendrick escapes with the unicorn's help, and the pair attempt to resume their journey. They are intercepted by Molly Grew, however. As she is about to confront Schmendrick, Molly sees the unicorn and instantly recognizes her. She yells at the unicorn, berating her.
Where have you been? Damn you! Where were you when I was new? When I was one of those innocent young maidens you always come to? How dare you? How dare you come to me now when I am this?
And descends into
That's actually
sobs.
like a really sad scene.
It's so sad. It's so sad. The unicorn comforts her, and Schmendrick tells Molly that this may be the very last unicorn there is, and that they're looking for the others. Molly replies with,
It would be the last unicorn in the world that came to Molly Grew. Oh, Molly.
I know. I love Molly so much. Molly joins their party, and they continue toward King Haggard's kingdom, a land that was once soft but became hard and bleak when Haggard took the throne. Only a day's journey from Haggard's castle, the trio stop for the night. And here, all hell breaks loose. The Red Bull, a giant monster covered in flames, has come for the unicorn. He chases her, with Schmendrick and Molly trapped in the crossfire. Seeing the unicorn trapped by the bull, Schmendrick calls upon his magic, chanting,
Magic, do as you will.
Lightning splits the sky, and the bull stamps his hooves as he's lost track of the unicorn. The bull retreats, and Molly stares in horror at what Schmendrick's magic has done. The unicorn has been transformed into a human woman. Molly fears that the unicorn's immortal mind, now trapped in a mortal body, will deteriorate and go insane. And she isn't far off. As the unicorn sees what has been done to her, she tells her companions,
I can feel this body dying all around me. I'm afraid of this body, more than I was of the Red Bull.
You're so dainty.
I tried.
Schmendrick, Molly, and the now human unicorn finally arrive at King Haggard's castle. They are met by a pair of guards, and Schmendrick introduces himself, Molly, and the unicorn as the Lady Amalthea.
Do we get that reference?
Y'all think I give you history and context for nothing. The two guards reveal themselves as King Haggard and his son, Prince Lear. Schmendrick offers himself as the royal magician to Haggard, but Haggard already has a magician, Mabrook. Molly tells Haggard he should hire Schmendrick because obviously Mabrook doesn't make Haggard happy.
Dang, Molly. Molly is on it. She doesn't play no games.
I love it. I love it. Schmendrick has the same kind of reaction where he's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mabrook appears, meets Molly, Schmendrick, and Amalthea. Enraged that King Haggard is even entertaining the idea of dismissing him, there's a magical standoff between Mabrook and Amalthea. Mabrook concedes, laughing at Haggard and saying,
I would not be you for all the money in all the world. You have let your doom in through the front door, but it will not depart that way. Farewell, poor Haggard. And that's because he notices that Amalthea is a unicorn.
He totally sees what Amalthea is. As the chaos settles, Haggard agrees to take Schmendrick on as his magician and Molly as his cook, but warns that he will not keep anything near him that does not make him happy, and that they should all guard their secrets as he guards his own. As time passes, the trio look for any clue as to what has become of the unicorns. During this time, of course, Prince Lear falls in love with Amalthea, and Haggard grows suspicious of her, realizing that she's not as human as she appears. Amalthea herself begins to struggle with her identity, caught in emotions she does not recognize nor know how to cope with, and suffering from nightmares, and losing focus as to why she's even in Haggard's castle. Molly has to reassure her, and Schmendrick works to distract Haggard from fully realizing what Amalthea is. Amalthea tells Molly that the past troubles her, which is something that's never happened before. But then she forgets her purpose for even being at the castle, and the world around her confuses and frightens her. She misses being a creature who did not care so much. And all the while, Lear's love for Amalthea grows, and in her name he slays dragons, fights giants, solves terrible riddles, and becomes a great hero to win her favor.
May I interject? Because that dragon scene just comes out of nowhere. And it's like,
nowhere.
We're talking about like an...
And it's an Eastern dragon,
I was about
to
say, it's like a literal, like, from China dragon. Like, I was like, and Alex was like, what is this? And I'm like, I don't know. Sarah made me watch it. Sit down. Come do this. And so he, like, brings her what I assume is, like, a piece of the dragon hide or whatever. And Amalthea's like, doesn't even look at it. She's like, whatever.
She doesn't care.
And, like, the whole point, like, you see all his medals of honor on his, like, chest and stuff. And I was telling Sarah that, like, out of everybody, when you hear, like, the acting, the prince's acting is so far off from, like, everybody else's, like, very whimsical and, like, I would say, like, old-timey voice to, like, give it that fairy tale. And then the prince was just like, what's going on here? What is this?
Yeah. Lear's voice acting is a little rough, which I hate to say because he's voiced by Jeff Bridges, and I love Jeff Bridges. But
everybody starts somewhere.
So, like Yinny said, after Amalthea is repeatedly unimpressed with Lear's great deeds, he shares his feelings with her.
Every woman's favorite thing, of course, especially when they're trying to ignore you. Yes.
Right? Yeah. And Amalthea is kind of wooed by this and finds in Lear a savior from her loneliness. The pair fall in love during what I think may be the corniest song in the entire movie, but that's just my opinion.
Not just your opinion. I was like, because he's like, I don't know how to write poetry. I'm like, you don't even know how to rhyme in this song. Like, none of the song makes sense. None of the song rhymes in any way. And at that point, I just start hearing, because Alex is knocked out. And I'm here with, like, my covers up, and I'm just like, what in God's name is this song? But then...
I adore this movie, but that song, I'm just like...
That song just makes no sense to me. And, like, the unicorn doesn't know about being a human, but she knows how to smack a nice one on Prince Lear.
Right?
They make out.
Yeah, they make out. Yeah. They make out at the end of the song.
I'm like, damn, girl, you learn real quick. So...
Oh, she does. She really does. So, despite, or thankfully, despite this romantic turn of events, danger is close on the unicorn's heels. Haggard confronts Lady Amalthea on the balcony, telling her he knows what she actually is. He also confesses that he is responsible for the disappearance of the other unicorns. He has all the unicorns trapped in the sea because magic, they can breathe underwater.
JK, they're not unicorns. This is the beginning of narwhals.
Hush, Yinny. Hush. The unicorns were herded into the sea by the Red Bull on Haggard's order, as they were the only thing that ever truly made the king happy, and he became obsessed with owning and possessing every last unicorn. He watches the tide come in and out and sees the unicorns hiding in the water, but never daring to come out for fear of the bull. Haggard threatens to throw Amalthea into the water with his own hands, then regains his composure, stating that in the end, it will all be the same and he will have his way. When he leaves, a terrified, justifiably, Amalthea breaks down into sobs and Schmindrick comforts her, saying,
"If you've become human enough to cry, then no magic can change you back. We will find the others." Wait, Sarah, does this mean that we're actually magical creatures turned into humans, but because we've cried, we can never turn back into our true forms? Because I've always thought I'm different.
That makes a lot of sense, and now I think I'm even more depressed.
Me too. And I cry a whole lot.
Thank you. All the time.
I have no shame. I just start crying for nothing.
No shame.
Sometimes I look at Alex
I'm even
and
an angry crier.
Yeah.
I'm an angry crier.
There you go.
I'm just like, I'm trying to make this point. All of a sudden the tears are coming in.
Yeah, I feel that.
It does not help my point. All right. So with time running out, Schmindrick and Molly Grew try to find the path to the Red Bull's lair and hopefully find a way to help the other unicorns escape. After an entertaining encounter with a drunk skeleton, Schmindrick, Molly, and Amalthea find the secret path to the bull's lair. The once fun skeleton sounds the alarm, and Haggard races to intercept the trio, sword raised. The three manage to escape, meet up with Lear, who, of course, followed Amalthea. And Haggard...
But he also just comes out of nowhere. He's just like, I'm already here.
I know.
And I'm like...
Yeah, he just appears. Yeah. He's like, and I do love the fact that even the other characters are like, where did you come from? And he's like, oh, I followed Amalthea. I saw where she went. I was like, but when?
Yeah, but also, just for the listener to know, Haggard doesn't really care about Prince Lear because he's not actually Haggard's son. They end up, like, finding him. He, like, just shows up on his doorstep, and he's like, well, maybe this makes me happy. Which then he goes, it made me happy for a little bit, but then I'm like, I don't like kids.
Yeah, Haggard's not a great guy.
No.
Haggard is really not a great guy.
Not at all.
So, Haggard destroys the entrance to the passageway, so their only escape now is through the Red Bull's lair. As the four make their way through the passage, Amalthea once again struggles with her identity. She professes her love to Lear, claiming that she wants to stay a human to be with him. Schmendrick tries to talk sense into her, saying that if she remains human, then all unicorns will remain prisoners except for one, and that one will grow old and die. Amalthea responds,
everything dies. I want to die when you die. I'm no unicorn, no magical creature. I'm human and I love you. Don't let them. Lear, I will not love you when I'm a unicorn. Girl. That whole scene, I was there like, do you think I love Alex with all my heart?
Oh, for sure.
But if I was a fucking unicorn, bruh, like, I'll just have my time with you. And then I'm going to become a unicorn.
Also responsible for freeing, like, the rest of your kind.
That too.
Like,
and, like, Amalthea.
This is kind of a big deal.
You already made out with him. I'm sure you did the second and third step after that. So you're fine. You could go be a unicorn now. You've done all there is. Humans are not that fun. Go back to being a magical creature. So.
Right. Well, luckily, despite his voice acting, Lear is the voice of reason. Despite his voice acting. Yes, because he tells Amalthea she must continue her journey, that the happy ending can't come in the middle of the story. And Molly and Schmendrick have a conversation about whether or not happy endings or even endings themselves exist. We're getting real existential here. And then their conversation descends into an argument with Molly accusing Schmendrick of not caring for any of them, only caring about his own desire to become a true magician.
At this point, we can all start telling that there's something going on between Molly and Schmendrick. I hate his name.
Because he starts to I know, because he starts to, like, defend himself of, like, wait, I do. But at this moment, the Red Bull appears.
No!
Excellent cock blocker. Schmendrick calls upon his magic once again so that Amalthea can escape. Amalthea transforms back into her true form and races out of the Red Bull's cavern and out onto the beach. The bull tries to push her into the ocean, and Lear rushes between them to protect Amalthea.
Our hero!
And the Red Bull kills him!
No!
All while Haggard watches from his castle above.
He's just, like, there with, like, medieval popcorn.
He's just, the entire time, he's just like...
The whole time. That's his face.
So he is voiced by Christopher Lee. So for our Lord of the Rings fans out there, like, just picture Saruman from his tall tower watching his son die and watching a unicorn be chased by a fiery bull.
I feel like that would be something that happens in Lord of the Rings. So,
you know, it's same, absolutely. So seeing Lear's corpse, kids movie, the unicorn fights back against the bull, herding him into the ocean instead. As soon as the bull is submerged, the sea becomes turbulent. The waves grow, showing the unicorns in the foam of the waves. The unicorns race up onto the beach, up the cliffside, and back to their homes. The stampeding of the hundreds of unicorns causes Haggard's castle to crumble and crash into the sea, with Haggard screaming,
I knew you were the last. That's all he does.
As he falls to his death. I love it. It really is.
Also, how freaking metal is it that the unicorns would stampede and just destroy a fully, like, heavy cement block, thing.
Right.
That's pretty metal.
I love it. And, Mabruk, Haggard's former magician's, prophecy comes full circle.
because she didn't leave through the front. She left through the back.
There's something weird there.
I don't know. After I said it, I understood.
But that might have been an issue.
We're going to leave it. Let's keep going.
We're going to leave it. After the unicorns have all escaped, Amalthea, now the unicorn, approaches Molly and Schmendrick as they grieve over Lear's body. Placing her horn to his mouth, she brings Lear back to life and leaves, knowing that she remembers Lear and feels the same for him as she did when she was a human. Molly, Schmendrick, and Lear go their separate ways, as Lear must restore the kingdom his father destroyed, and Molly and Schmendrick decide to travel together, as Schmendrick has finally become a true magician.
After transforming a unicorn twice and helping save all the world's unicorns, I mean, I would hope so. But he did not just become a magician, he became a hubby. It was good.
Oh, he did! Right? 2 birds, 1 stone.
There you
go. Two birds, 1 life-threatening journey.
There you go.
So right before dawn, Schmendrick sees the unicorn and approaches her. The pair say their farewells to each other, with the unicorn admitting,
I am a little afraid to go home. I have been mortal, and some part of me is mortal yet. I am no longer like the others, for no unicorn was ever born who could regret. But I do. I regret.
Schmendrick apologizes to her for the harm he has caused her, but she forgives him, saying,
Unicorns are in the world again. No sorrow shall live in me as long as that joy, save one, and I thank you for that part too.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts me
it's so sad.
Oh,
it's so sad. The unicorn returns to her lilac wood, knowing that good has been done in the world. The end.
Wow, that was a lot. Whoa.
It really is a lot. Now imagine being introduced to this film as a 5-year-old.
Lord Jesus.
This movie is full of grief, tragedy, and existential dread. The unicorn is a character who must learn how to navigate an entirely new world and learn to understand human beings. Beings who, at the start of the film, are completely strange to her. By the end of the movie, the unicorn is strange to herself. Schmendrick is a man cursed with immortality, who possesses a singular dream, but he finds a cause more noble than himself and devotes himself to it. Molly Grew is a woman who, while she has lost hope that she herself will ever experience magic, still believes fully in magic and wonder. And Lear is a prince with a broken kingdom and a father who does not care for him, and he must find a way to make a name for himself despite his father's indifference and the lost love of Amalthea. These damaged mortals clash with the unicorn's eternal sameness. They change her, quite literally, forever, in good ways and bad. Their sadness, their regret, and their love all affect her.
They affected me too.
Right? Even with the corny songs and some of the really weird moments.
I mean, oh my God, the cat. We did not talk about the cat.
Wait. Save the cat. One moment. Let me finish this. We're in the middle of a mood. Hold on. I'd also like to note that as a child, I loved the unicorn, but I thought Amalthea was very annoying. I still kind of think she's annoying, but I didn't understand her. As an adult, Amalthea, while still a little annoying, is actually really tragic to me. And that's the point. As children, we don't understand the lowness of sorrow or the elation of joy, kind of like unicorns don't understand it. We don't understand how our lives are not our own, but are instead braided with the lives of people who we do and do not care about. We don't understand the sacrificial nature of companionship and love. Though immortal, the unicorn is like a child in this aspect, and through her journey transforms into something different. The Last Unicorn is a coming-of-age movie that hits you again and again as you grow up, as the unicorn's journey is an ongoing one, not just one that is wrapped up neatly at the end of the movie. Life, growth, change, they're all ongoing. And while it would feel so safe to stay the same for all eternity, what would be gained from never evolving? It is one of the reasons I love rewatching this film.
Oh, Sarah, you write things so beautifully. But also the cat, real quick. My God.
Let's talk about the cat.
Okay, first of all.
I missed the cat.
The cat just comes out for one section. You don't even know the cat's there until literally that last part. Cat's just meowing.
Yeah, the cat lives in the castle.
Yeah.
He lives in the castle.
Cat has a peg leg and an eye patch. And you're just like, oh.
And talks like a pirate.
But here's the thing, though. You just think it has a peg leg and a pirate thing. You're just like, all of a sudden starts talking to Molly, and Molly understands him, goes on this whole...
Because she's trying to figure out how to find, like, the lair of the Red Bull and how to free the unicorns, and she's talking to the cat!
I don't know, like she had too many mushrooms. I have no idea, because he starts talking, and he's just like, I am a cat to meow, purr, purr. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, it is the weirdest, and you never see the cat again. Cat just comes out for that one thing and then is gone, and you're just like, very strange. And that's all I had to say.
Very strange.
And listen, dear listener.
No, that's great.
I could say a lot more things, but also Sarah wanted to keep writing, and I told her this is enough. We are almost at 50 minutes. Lord. So, let's get into modern...
We knew unicorns was going to be a big episode.
We did.
We knew it.
We did. I mean, this whole month is pretty big. So
that is true. We're doing big movies here. We're doing big movies.
Let's get into modern media before Sarah gives us more unicorn history, and I have I don't even know what over that cat.
This cat is so strange.
I was like, where did it come from? Like, why? It was like the butterfly, not necessary.
Butterfly, tree, cat.
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about the tree. The tree got tits.
No.
It's just... And then the tree
calls
it a hussy. She calls the Amalthea a hussy.
Unicorn. Yeah, she calls the unicorn a hussy.
You are such a hussy. And then she's like moving her boobs, and Schmendrick is like, and I'm like, what is going on here? It is like someone was on a trip while they did the tree scene. It makes no...
Oh, they absolutely were.
It has nothing to do with any of the movie. God.
It's so funny.
Modern media.
Okay. Modern media. As mentioned, The Last Unicorn. Film, book, or comic?
The Last Battle of the Chronicles of Narnia book series stars a faithful and noble male unicorn named Jewel, who is also prone to vanity.
Lady Rainicorn from Adventure Time is a type of unicorn. The unicorn is a key figure in the early Tom Cruise film Legend, also starring Tim Curry. The My Little Pony franchise has several unicorn characters.
And a bunch of bronies. I had no idea. It's like a really big thing. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. We're not getting into that. Anyways, Pokemon has a unicorn-type creature called Rapidash. And in the Harry Potter franchise, unicorn blood is so powerful that it'll keep the drinker alive no matter what. But it does not come without a terrible price.
Oh, dear. The new A24 film, Death of a Unicorn, takes the unicorn back to its more violent roots. Keelans appear in the graphic novel and anime series, The 12 Kingdoms. And lastly, the unicorn is the national animal of Scotland.
I'm not surprised. I'm just not surprised.
I love it.
Here's your siren call. I mean, listen... You knew we were going to ask you to go watch The Last Unicorn. It's actually available free on Prime, so go stream it. Really cool. Actually, you're probably going to watch it once and never again like I will, but you will do it for Sarah. You will do it for
I
Sarah.
will love you forever and appreciate you for it. And if you're craving some beautifully written fantasy prose, read the book by Peter S. Beagle.
Yes.
And, of course, tell us in the comments or in our public Discord, what are your favorite unicorns in media?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the whole, fiction of them? Are they violent creatures? Are they helpful creatures? Are they just weird little pastel ponies used for, marketing kids' toys?
Who knows? Join the hunt for the unicorn, but don't kill them. Only love them.
Don't actually hurt a unicorn.
Don't hurt the unicorn.
Just love them and then let them go.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon for next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Story Sirens. You can follow us on Instagram at Story Sirens Podcast. Want to support us? Send us a cup of Ko-fi by searching ko-fi.com/storysirens. We've got lots of treats for those who become siren seekers. All research materials can be found in the episode summary. Music by Donald Guzzi and artwork by Alexis Torres. Story Sirens is a Feather and Fin production. See you soon.